Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface with my episode 4 go through review autopsy of Rings of Power episode 4. Ah man. Okay, so I watched I'm not watching this when it releases in the UK. I don't know what time it releases in the UK. Something ridiculous. Like 4, 5, maybe, o'clock in the morning. No, not going to be doing any of that nonsense, thank you. So I had a night's sleep, woke up, I don't know, but it got to around 10:30 in the morning, I think, ish, and I decided to watch this. After I watched this, because I watched it in bed on my laptop. After I watched this, I just fell asleep. It was a cure for insomnia. This show. It is so boring and so little is happening. And I think particularly in this episode, it really highlighted the terrible writing, because the writing is garbage right now. And even the bits, when I say the bits which are okay, because I think the Khazad-dûm stuff, the Dwarven stuff, I should really say, because they're bouncing around all over the freaking place like Game of Thrones now. The end, season 7, season 8 of Game of Thrones, and the continuity is just lost, completely lost, which we'll get to. But yeah, they're just bouncing all over the place. But even the Dwarven stuff, which I think is the most tolerable stuff, it's not great. It's just not as bad as the rest of the stuff. If that was implanted in, let's say, Lord of the Rings, you'd be like, whoa, this is a departure from the good stuff. But unfortunately, that is kind of like the average stuff is like just it's just because it's just terrible. Right. I want to get this over with. Let's get into this. Let's get into this. Right. So we start off in Minas Tirith. Oh no. Sorry, I mean fake Minas Tirith. On Numenor, and Queen Regent Miriel is having nightmares, and her nightmares are my wet dreams, because she dreams of a great wave crashing into Numenor, destroying it. The visuals, very nice. But beauty is only skin deep. And as the wonderful Judge Judy says, beauty fades, dumb is forever. And the writing is so dumb that even these nice little visuals that we have here, it looks like Elden Ring. We can, whatever. It doesn't mean anything too much. Aryan race, here's a guy dissing McQueen, as we get an immediate allegory for immigration, for immigrants coming into a country. And it doesn't work in this show, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Because the writer, first and foremost, because the writers are dead. And she's just like, oh, I'm in my new job as a planner, and I am the strongest woman, and I'm a new fake character introduced because we hate men. So Farazan is doing his handshaking and whatnot. But there is a guy in the town square, this guy here who got beat up last week, who's going, there's a bunch of elves taking our jobs. He says there's elf ships on the shore. No, there isn't. No, there isn't. There isn't a single elf ship on your shore. Galadriel! She got picked up by a Numenorian ship from a raft in the sea. She's the only elf that we have been told exists in Numenor. So him saying, there's elven ships on the shores of Numenor. No, there isn't. And they're here to take our jobs. They don't sleep. They don't tire. They live forever. They're coming to take their jobs. There's only Galadriel. That's it. This makes no sense whatsoever. So the guy who makes no sense whatsoever, Farazon, it's Farazon, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, Farazon comes in and he's just like, I'm now going to diffuse this situation by saying, no, you must believe in the Queen Regent. Numenor is for men only. And it will always be for men only. And everyone's just like, yeah. And he goes, drinks on me. And immediately there's just loads of people with trays of drinks out of nowhere, as if they were waiting for the speech by Farazon because they read the shitty script. And I was just like, well done, Farazon. Great speech. You solved a problem which didn't exist. It was made up so you could do this stupid speech which made no fucking sense because what the guy said before made no fucking sense. And then you had a bunch of fucking barmaids with glasses of wine waiting in the wings to just come out and start giving free drinks to everyone. Didn't make a lick of sense. But it's okay because you, dear viewer, are stupid and you don't have to think. Stop thinking about the show. Just consume it. Just consume. It pissed me off from the start. Because it's just so manufactured bullshit. Look, I'm all irate now because this show's pissing me off. So, oh my God. I need a moment because I could just completely blow my top now. So, Galadriel says, we need people. There's a storm coming in Sauron. And we must go to the Southlands and fight because Sauron, who's in your prison cell, his people are going to get wiped out by orcs and Sauron. And Miriel is like, nah, I'm good. I'm good, brah. And so, Galadriel says, when Miriel starts leaving, and they have this bullshit conversation. I don't know who wrote this fucking script, but I was just like, what the fucking garbage are you spouting out of your mouths? There is a tempest inside of me. And Miriel's like, I'm out of here. And then Galadriel says, I want to speak to the manager. She does the I demand to speak to the manager. I demand to speak to your father, the true king of Numenor. Because that's what Galadriel does. She demands to speak to the manager. She is fucking shit. This is the worst character. Horrible to watch on the screen. I hope she gets a fucking head cut off in battle, but we know that's not going to happen because they've usurped a beautiful character and turned it into this fucking whinging bint. Looks like I had quite a bit of aggression that I needed to get out from this fucking shite. So Miriel goes to prison with you. Let's go to another scene that doesn't make any sense. Failure in life, Isildur, who will, of course, grow up to fuck everything up because he refuses to throw the Ring of Power into Mount Doom. He doesn't want to pass his GCSE in shit fucking, in pulling rope on a ship. What did you get for your GCSE for pulling a rope on a ship? I got a C. I got an A. Oh my god, well done. Well, but Jeremy over there, he got an A++. So he's tugging on rope, because that's what you do on a ship, I guess. Just tug on some rope. And then he's just like, I don't want to pass the test. And he looks over and he just sees the sun on these rocks, and he's like, oh my god. In his mind, I'm kind of making up some script here. Oh my god, look at the wonderful world out there while I am here just on this, island paradise, pulling some rope on a ship. Oh, woe is me, for I am undone. So he lets go of his rope. So his master's just, he was trainer, whatever. His teacher is just like, when my pupils come to me and ask for my pronouns, I'm just like, oh my god, that is so good. But when he stopped doing that on Libs of on TikTok, he says, I've seen you do this 1,000 times. You let go on purpose to purposely fail. You are out of the GCSE pulling the rope on a ship course. Away with you. And he's like, cool. And he's gone, and your two mates. What? Why kick them out? Oh, you kick them out so they can be conflict between them later on. Because everything has to be manufactured fucking conflict in the show. Because basically this is an hour of people just shouting at each other. Because you can't create nuanced conversation because you aren't good writers. You're shit. Oh, I am up to here with this fucking show. And I know what happens in it. I've got a chicken scramble. So moving on. So we now get a scene where where someone else who got kicked out because of Isildur is just like, why I got kicked out because you, man? Why is it always got to be about you, Isildur? Oh my god, let's do some pushing. Let's push each other. Let's have an argument. Let's have a shout. Let's create some manufactured drama to make it look like something's happening. Nothing is happening in this fucking show. We are 4 hours in and fuckity, fuck all has happened. Because you have these manufactured, pathetic scenes which mean nothing and go nowhere and add nothing to the character whatsoever. Whomever it may be. I think I'm extra wound up because I watched this episode with the subtitles on, so I could actually read how bad the writing was, as opposed to just hearing it and thinking, nah, they didn't just say that. Nah, they didn't just say, but they did. $1 billion. Fucking hell, Jeff. Get an audit going, mate. Get an audit going. Because somebody's just run off with a truckload of cash. Then we go back to Ada. And there's a goblin dying. Sorry, there's a white man dying because the goblins are clearly an allegory for white man because they're all white and white as a sheet. And guess what? Adar, fuck it, I don't care. I don't care. Is a regular elf, as I said. Because I know what happens in all of these episodes. And he looks over the wounded orc. And he places his hand on its head as if to say, you are a beloved creature of mine. And tears well up in his eyes, and he stabs him. So he dies and puts him out of his misery, looking at his child. This is one of my children that I just... Oh, fuck off. So I'm so done with the show. I am... Jeez. It is... Oh, my God, Ronan, I'm moving this along quicker. And then he talks to the elf, and the elf is he picks up a blade, like some sort of blade. He's gonna stab Adar, and then Adar says, "I want you to send a message to the people in the tower who are taking refuge in the tower." By the way, we then go to a scene where, well, no, I forget it. Never mind. Fucking never mind with this show. And so he's just letting him go. He's letting him go again, as I said last week. He's letting him go so he can go to the tower, the old elven tower, you know, that we saw in episode fucking Who Cares? And he says, I want you to give them a message. So, Adar, who's leading the orcs, is releasing... I can't even remember his name. I just don't give a shit. What are you called? Arondir. He's releasing Arondir to go deliver a message. And the first thing that's going to happen when he's released is he gets hunted down by orcs. If you wanted him to deliver a message to the tower, then why are your orcs immediately trying to kill him? But the orcs in the village, they didn't get the message. So why send him back to the fucking watchtower if his orcs could just kill him at any moment? Because then the message wouldn't be delivered. It's as if this is just bullshit to release him to get him back to an other area where he could do some story with fucking Bronwyn or whatever, who, by the way, and when we get to it, I burst out laughing because it's the worst scene I think I've seen in TV fucking history later on with her. Calm down, Ads. You're going to have an aneurysm. Go fucking eat my dick. So we go to the tower, the elven tower that we saw, and people are walking over a bridge as more villages are arriving. Whoop-de-fucking-do. We're running out of food. I don't give two fucking shits. So then Theo says, well, I'll go to the village with, the kid with the haircut, the trendy haircut kid. We're going to go to the village in daylight, and we're going to get a bunch of food and bring it back. So they trottle off to a village, and they've got a bunch of food. And he's like, hey, let's go in the inn. There's probably a lot of food in the inn. And then he's just like, oh, I don't know, mate. It looks like it's going to get fucking dark soon. Really? Because the sky doesn't say that at all. So he waits outside because he's a scaredy pants. Theo goes inside, finds some grain, which he starts putting into a bag. And then he hears the door close, and he's like, other person. Don't hear anything. So he just carries on fucking putting the grain in. And then, quelle surprise, a orc jumps out. So the orc's gonna kill him, and then he stabs the Sauron sword into him. So the blade appears, and then he fights the orc and then runs away and hides in a well for the next fucking 35 minutes. Because the orcs are so stupid, even though the guy throws the bucket in and he hears an ow when he looks in, just because he's put his head under the water. What am I even explaining this for? You know all the tropes. It's all bullshit. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. So we go to Celebrimbor and not Elrond. Right, okay. This is another thing that pisses me off. This is not Elrond. It doesn't in any capacity come across as Elrond. Completely different person. And I was actually imagining if we actually had the true Elrond in this position and how much better the dialogue probably would have been delivered between Durin and Elrond, and how much probably more significance it would have. But this is just Elrond. I'm just Fem Elrond. Everything is just light and daisies and sunshine with me. And I don't have any changes whatsoever in the way that I deliver things. And everything's awesome. And I just smile and I just look like a complete femboy. I think I'm in love with Celebrimbor. So the weird ass thing is, before this scene starts, Elrond's looking out the window, and the dwarves have already started all of this construction on the towers that Celebrimbor wants to build the forge on. What the fuck is the timescales in this show? Because you got people in one scene who are just walking between a village and here, and then the next thing you've got these dwarven structures which have just gone up overnight. Are they fucking Chinese dwarves? They say, oh look, dwarves and elves working together for the first time in ages. I have no, like, 1 second Galadriel's on Middle Earth, and then the next thing she's going into Valinor, and then the next second they're at Numenor, which is halfway between. This is shite. Teleport, teleport, teleport. This has happened in a thing. Don't think, don't try and have any kind of continuity or flow or connective tissue. Let's just make things happen and have scenes in between. I'm oh, so he just teleports from fucking Linden or wherever they are over to Khazad-dûm again. But the next scene, Linden, boom, Khazad-dûm. I'm just gonna nip it. I think he even said when he's talking to Celebrimbor, I actually think he said, yeah, you should go back to Khazad-dûm tomorrow. As if it's just some nice little jaunt. Yeah, I'm just going to nip over there tomorrow. Because, you know, it takes 20 minutes to walk from Linden or wherever they are to Khazad-dûm. 20 minutes, mate. It's a 20-minute walk. Don't even need a flask of water. You know, we just meander up the mountain path. So he's just suddenly in Durin's home. By the way, the lack of establishing shots is also shocking. Or establishing tissue is shockingly bad. And he's not there. So he's talking to Disa, and Disa's just like, oh, he's away doing some mining. And he's like, well, if he's away doing some mining, why didn't he take his mining tools with him? It's as if you're telling me a lie. You're accusing a dwarf of lying in our own home? And then I'm sorry. She's like, he didn't take his tools because he's doing a very specific type of mining. I'm sorry. And then next thing, let's just cut because of how janky it is. Next thing, Disa and Durin are just talking on a bridge. The fucking editing of this is dog shit. Elrond in Linden. Elrond in Khazad-dûm. Disa now talk. It's like fucking, what's it called? Darmak. It's like the episode Darmak from Star Trek. They're speaking in fucking metaphor. Elrond and Celebrimbor at Linden. Elrond, mountain path. Khazad-dûm with Disa. Disa and Durin on bridge over water. Fucking hell. It is bad. And she's just like, he didn't believe the lie that I told him. He's a tricky one, that elf. And then he's watching and he's been reading the lips and he's like, hey, okay, I'm still fucking femdom, even when nobody's around. I still have that smug ass look in my face that I just licked the fucking cat's asshole. Holy Moses. But this is great television, folks. Fucking Campier. He couldn't find a bad. He scoured the internet for a bad review. Couldn't find one. Rob. My love. He couldn't find one, Rob. Fuckity fuck. So then, guess what? We have another cut. Just straight to Elrond finding immediately, working out that this is a fake wall, and the way to get into this fake wall is by doing the taps that Disa's and Durin's children were singing in the house. Because they were singing really loud, going, oh, this is a song about the secret mithril that Durin's mining. And you go, tap, tap, tappity tap on the secret wall. Stop. Here, children, stop singing that song. That's really cryptic and not just fucking totally gonna come back in 1 minute's time. According to Durin, they just found the fucking thing. So how is there a kid's song about it? How is there a kid's song about the mithril when they've just discovered the fucking thing, according to Durin? So Durin's just like, hey, what you fucking doing here? He's just like, Durin, what's going on? He's like, you promised me pinky swear on the mountainside. And he's like, yes, of course, because you're my friend. He's like, yeah, well, we've got this fucking thing and it's called mithril. And it's really, really rare. And it's, you know, a new type of mining and forging and smelting and shit. And he's like, wow. And he's like, yeah, you can keep that. You can keep that though as a keepsake. And he's like, oh, thank you. I would totally bang the shit out of this girl in this fit, but she's boring as fuck. And this whole thing, she's like, there's Farazan's second is like flirting with her and he wants it, whatever. Galadriel is pacing up and down in prison because, you know, she got chucked in for wanting to speak to the manager. And Halbrand is just like, oh, if you stop pacing for 1 second, then you can start putting things together. So he basically says what she needed to hear. And then Pharazôn turns up with some armed guards and chains because she's to be taken from her cell and to the harbor and given a ship to fuckity buy because she's the only elf. But you know, there's apparently loads of elven ships and elves in Numenor take thinking our jobs. And as soon as they open the cell, she just bursts out and puts the guards in chains and knocks them all in the prison and shuts the prison cell. And Halbrand Sauron says to Pharazôn, "I wouldn't get your sword out if I were you." And so Pharazôn doesn't. And Galadriel does a smug ass to Pharazôn and leaves. Fucking not interesting sister is talking to Isildur, and she's like, "I just had a date," and he's just like, "Great, because I just got kicked out of the GCSE pulling rope on a ship class." And they were like, "Isn't this a great scene?" And he was like, "No, this is dog shit. Why is this even in a fucking show? It's wasting time." And then they hear, "The prisoner has escaped. The prisoner has escaped," because Galadriel has got out of her cell. She climbs the tower, no problem, because that's Galadriel fucking territory. This is a fucking little fly pissing me off, and I'm gonna fucking kill it. I will burn its family when I find it. So we got this tower, and look, Galadriel's climbed this tower just because she's so amazing. Just climb this tower to the top. How does she know that was the right tower? Did she read the script? How does she know that was the tower that the king did she read the script? She read the script. Gotcha. By the way, this is tiny up here. So yeah, whatever. And then the king's in bed and he's ill. And Miriel's just like, "I don't want you telling people about this." And she's like, "Come, let's go touch an orb." And I don't mean a testicle. So they touch one of the, I don't know, I'm going to call them Scryer orbs because I think that's from Skyrim. God, I wish this was slightly more Irish. And she's like, "This is why I don't want to do anything with you, because this," and Galadriel touches it, and she has the same vision of the destruction of Numenor. And she's like, "Well, come save me, come help me, and we can hopefully stop this." And she's like, "Well, that's the problem. The first part of the prophecy of this happening is you fucking arriving here. So I'm going to help you." What? Okie dokie. Whatever you fucking say, darling. Isildur is trying to escape the village. It's boring as fuck. I don't care. And he gets saved by Arondir. Yeah, by the book instead or something. I don't care. And then they get chased by orcs in slow motion. And the orcs try and kill them, even though he's been sent to deliver a message. And all of this is slow motion, and he's got Theo, and he's defending Theo, and he's catching arrows, and he's firing them back. And it's all in slow-mo with shitty music. I'm just going to say it. The music in this show is shit as well. The music in Lord of the Rings, holy shit, it was part of the personality. It wasn't like another character. But the music in this is just like, fucking it. Whatever. And then in the slow motion, Bronwyn comes running. Oh, I know exactly where you are. Okay. Okay, whatever. How did you know where they are? You teleported to them? Gotcha. And she's running to them in slow motion. I'm gonna help. I'm gonna help. I laughed. I laughed out loud. Legitimately, it was pathetic to see. Pathetic. Couldn't even let Arondir, whatever he's called, Couldn't even let him have his moment saving Theo. No, you had to fucking come along with your fucking pride flag and your trans flag and your Black Lives Matter t-shirt that you're wearing and a Joe Biden 2024, Harris Biden 2024 flag coming out your asshole. I'm an activist, you know. I'm something of a activist myself. And she like grabs Theo and they all escape together in the daylight. And it's still all slow motion. Jeez. Lord, take me now. Deesa's doing the singy song that we've seen in the trailers, and he's like, why did you sing the singy song? And she's like, because when Durin and Felrond were speaking, there was a cave-in and four dwarven miners were trapped. And she was like, the singy song is so that the mountain releases the miners, releases the miners to us. And then Durin comes in and says, we've found the last one. And he's alive, and they're all alive. I'm just like, who fucking speaks like that? That's why you speak when you're trying to con an audience. Not have a natural fucking discussion, like coming, just like walking and going, Disa, we found the last one, they're all safe and sound. That's how you do it. You don't go there going, we've found the last one. And they're all well now. Okay, like that's great. Fuck off. Femrond says, I can't even fucking remember. I don't even care. Femrond says, come with me to Linden or something. And he's like, okay. So he goes, Daddy, you know, I've let you down. And his dad's like, you haven't let me down. This is what you think of the elf and go, what's going on? He's like, I don't know, Daddy. I don't trust it. He's like, good. Then you go with him because tension. Got to get tension. Got to have some fake ass tension. So then, look, just fuck off. I can't be fucked with that scene. Submit again, and another scene that's just like, this is a dupe the fucking audience scene. And she's like, because we just see Galadriel being escorted to the docks and taken to a ship, and they're all just watching. And it looks like she's been exiled away from Numenor. But then we get a bit that previously happened where she says, I have decided to help Galadriel and we'll be setting sail to the southern lands and we'll be fighting with her in next week's Volcanic Orcs versus Humans episode. I think it's episode 5. And then we get a recruitment process, and then the two guys who were friends of Isildur, who were kicked off the GCSE rope pulling class, go, I volunteer to go. And then Isildur goes, well, I volunteer. Oh, great. Now we can have some tension between them as well. Fake tension. Yay. Oh, by the way, on characters, I couldn't give a shit if they lived or died. Because right now, I couldn't give a shit if anyone lived or died. Because nobody whatsoever is likable or investable in because they are written like dog shit. And then the leaves start falling off the tree, which spells doom for Numenor. The end. Thank fuck. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.